Welcome back, guys. Webheads Podcast is back for volume 2.
I was gonna do the Spider-Man but it wouldn't come off without seeing the actual.
2022. We're back in the building. This is the first time. I think this is the first time I've seen you since before Christmas.
Yeah, I think so.
In person.
Yeah, I went to Arizona for Christmas. Came back. Yeah, I hadn't seen you since. 2022's been a topsy-turvy year.
Very interesting year. Elmo's taken over.
It's a big word for Elmo.
He's saying big words. He's fighting rocks. It's been a wild year. For some reason, we're recording.
Even Elmo's fed up with the year.
Yeah.
You're just like, don't give me some bullshit.
We're not even 3 weeks in yet. For some reason, today I decided while we were recording to put on the Eternals in the background with no sound. I just wanted to see it.
It's going to be distracting.
Probably. I'll probably turn it off halfway through. But welcome back, guys. Today we are doing a special episode. It's Superman versus Spider-Man.
We're crossing over to
We're kicking down the forbidden door.
Yeah. Crossing universes. And I won't get into it too much, but this still takes place in the 616, right? There's no indication that this takes place in another universe.
You know what? Let's hit the theme first.
Okay.
And then we'll get into that.
Hello, hello, hello.
Jacked.
I feel like he got super buff for no reason.
Yeah. You don't even see him really.
No.
But I think he said that he just did it because they offered it to him. And he was like, why not?
Kumail, you got buff for no reason, buddy. We don't even see your abs in this whole thing. Ever.
I mean, I would. Like, if I was going to be in a movie and they were just like,
if
hey,
I'm going to be in a Marvel movie,
there's like, we'll get you a trainer, fitness coach.
Sign me up.
I was like, yeah, let's do it. I've never been.
I'm going to get fat right after.
Yeah.
But for the movie, I'm going to at least do it. So what have you been up to since we've been gone?
Let's see. Have we talked about Spider-Man yet?
No.
Yeah. So Spider-Man came out. I called out of work that day. I would have been off work by the time it. So here's the thing. So tickets went on sale, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy them for that Friday. But Danny also has school, and normally if like we go after work or something, like we'll both drive there, and then we just don't want to have two cars. So I was like, all right, I'll get one for 9 p.m. Because then by that point I'll be off work, I can get home, and then we can both just take one car there.
Yeah.
And it didn't click in my head until the week of that she doesn't have school Fridays. I could have just took off the day, or I already had the day off, I think, or something, some weird stuff. But pretty much I didn't have to get a 9:00 show. And I was like, damn, like that's hella late. And so we went to Newark. I think the IMAX. I think it was the IMAX one. But I loved it.
It was great.
And it's kind of like the thing with Marvel movies. Like, I'm so excited to see them when they come out that I pay attention to it, but I'm always like, okay, what does this thing mean? What is this? I'm always looking for something. So I need to see it again to fully enjoy it. But on Instagram, there's always the bootleg like clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I saw the clip again of the Amazing Spider-Man, or Andrew Garfield, catching MJ, and it actually made me tear up because it didn't. It almost made me in the theater, but as I watched it again, I was like, yeah, that made me tear up again.
Yeah, as I when I watched it, I was like,
Oh yeah, also spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it yet.
oh yeah, yeah. I think we passed. By the time this comes out, we passed the embargo
Yeah.
on spoilers. So I'm sorry.
Marvel Studios spoiled it the Monday after.
Did they?
They released like official images of Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
That's shady. So I mean, hopefully you guys saw that by now. But yeah, I'll put something in the notes to tell you how long to skip past it if you. But it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was when Ned finally opened up the portals and all you could see was the shadow of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. Like, it's Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like, they found him. Cool. He's going to, like, come, like, figure out what's going on. And they can figure out what's going on and go from there. And then he started running closer, and I was like, oh, he's kind of lanky. And, like, obviously we all kind of knew that they were going to be in the movie anyways. I mean, that's why we had a podcast talking about it. But just seeing him actually there.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't think it was going to, like, even, like I said, we knew that they were going to be in the movie anyways, but just seeing them actually in the movie, this is supposed to be a completely different universe.
Yeah.
And now they're actually here with the MCU Spider-Man. It was just nuts.
Yeah, I was...
And Tobey Maguire looks exactly the same age as he did in his movies.
20
years later.
what on Screen Crush on YouTube, one of the guys I watch, he keeps calling him Bible Study Peter Parker. But yeah, like that scene where Ned was opening the portals, I was like, I thought that was kind of what they meant was going to happen, you know, like, oh, he was going to keep opening portals and you would see just like hints, like small cameos.
Yeah.
And like when he turned around and was like waving, I thought the portal was just going to close or something, and that was like going to be it. I'm like, okay, like, thanks, that was fun. But when he came through, and I was just like, I think I actually like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Like, this made me actually appreciate him more for like what he was. Like, I went back and watched The Amazing Spider-Man again, and I was just kind of like, okay, like, I like his mannerisms, and actually I don't know if you watched it yet, Tick Tick Boom on Netflix.
No.
He plays Jonathan, I forgot his last name, but it's a guy who wrote Rent. Andrew Garfield plays him. But it's a really good movie, and like, just kind of seeing like his mannerisms and like how like silly and funny he can be, but also like the emotion he can like portray, it makes his Spider-Man a lot better. And especially because you kind of appreciate the scenes and what he was working with, because you know he could have did better if the script was better for like the second one, for example.
Yeah.
But I think he did a good job in this one, especially being sort of kind of like that middle sibling in all of it, kind of.
Yeah, he played it well, though.
Yeah.
Like, it just, when they were up on the Statue of Liberty, and like all three of them were just sitting there just like talking to each other, like, it was nuts. I don't even know if I really have the words to properly say how I felt about it.
I agree.
But I mean, it does. The only thing that it does make me feel is that in Multiverse of Madness, I still don't want like the old X-Men to show up. I don't want don't bring Ben Affleck in here. Don't bring Jennifer Garner in here. Like, don't bring me anybody that we haven't seen yet. Like, I don't want.
So you don't want to see an old Elektra or old Daredevil before we see a newer
Matt Murdock from in the
suited
MCU,
up as Daredevil. Okay.
Like,
Well, I would say don't buy opening weekend tickets.
Yeah.
Because from what I've been reading,
I feel like it's gonna happen.
yeah, they're pulling out a lot of stops for this one.
They, from what I've seen, like the amount of people that are gonna be in that movie, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
They're spending a gang load of money on that.
But I like that they're kind of doing. They're definitely doing multiverse. Like they're going like all in on it. They're not just being like, okay, here's Spider-Man from a different universe. Like they're trying to blend everything that's come before
Yeah,
the
if they
MCU.
do it right, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, don't just try to pop me on the screen with Halle Berry in her storm fit, and then like a shadowy Wolverine and his claws poked out. Like, as long as it's good, I'm okay with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, I waited to watch the last episode of Hawkeye with the hopes of like
Oh yeah, I was hoping to see him at least swing by or something.
because I once I saw No Way Home and I saw him swinging past
The tree.
the tree, I was like, well, I had just seen that in the fourth or fifth episode of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, now let me go back. And then he wasn't in there, but it would have been dope.
They could. I feel like they can re-edit it. Just have him swing in the back.
Yeah.
Just like the end of the episode or something, the shot of the Christmas tree, just have him swing by. Mm-hmm. That's all you want.
But it makes like now put it in because we're further past No Way Home being out. Mm. So now like I get and not doing it because it's like, hey, this movie just came out. Now I'm gonna spoil it for you. Here's Spider-Man in his nice ass suit.
But I mean, they could do it. They edited WandaVision like after it came out, like the end of it.
Did they?
They it's online, but I think they like when she's in that cabin, they edited it in. I think, or they took out some trees. They edited like the color, and then you can see something like kind of not shadowy, but like the outline or something kind of like coming down through the tree line towards the cabin. So whatever that is, we don't know, but yeah, I mean they edited it, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to take a whole lot just to put a swinging guy from a distance.
Just do it. Come on, Kevin, Amy, figure this out. All right, so let's get into this. Let me turn off our movie because I can already tell we're gonna fuck up and start watching it and pause in the middle. All right, so first I gotta say thanks to our guy Rob.
Yeah,
Robbie
thank you, Rob.
Rodello for the new theme song.
Hope you guys like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it. Catch him on Instagram at Robbie Rodello.
Your phone's out, so I thought you had it up.
Nope.
But you're looking at me like, do you know?
Just put a reminder in here just to say thank you.
And you couldn't even put it in the reminder.
Man, I got like 5 pages of notes here. I was already tired. But thanks, Rob, for that.
Thank you. And for the show, I think for this year, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to do less synopsis telling and more what I like, just more specific scenes, I guess. I'll tell the story of, what we read, but more or less like things that I liked about it, or like scenes that I liked, or stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to edit down what cause I take notes on like everything, but I don't do the best job at editing that down to what's the most important. And this week I didn't do that either. But now I'm telling myself that I will.
It's a slow process for.
Yeah. It's a learning process. It takes time. But I did write a little something just so we can get an understanding of what we're walking into right now. So here we have, surprisingly, this is the second, not the first crossover between DC and Marvel, the second. But the first was a copy of MGM's. What was that? Oh shit! It was a copy of MGM's Marvelous Wizard of Oz comic book. And I don't know why they collaborated on it together, but that was the first one.
Was it Marvel characters in the Wizard of Oz?
No, it was just like it was a comic book adaptation of the movie,
Oh,
but for some reason they did it together.
when was that?
Early like 60 something, or like no, sorry, early 70s,
Oh,
because
yeah.
this one's like 78. Something. This one we're reading today.
Yeah, that's a weird time to do that. Maybe they're just trying to get into like a market of like
I think it
adapting.
was. I think it was like a situation where like because it was a movie thing, they it for some reason they had that they had the comic book authority.
Mhm.
They said that it wasn't fair for just one comic book studio to be able to do that, so they had to like do it together. Yeah. So that was the first one, The Wizard of Oz. I'm not going to give you guys a breakdown of The Wizard of Oz because you guys know what that's about. But here we are at number 2 between Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
So how this came about, I should have just kept reading my notes. Yeah, so how number 2 came about was all due to author and literary agent named David Obst, who suggested that Marvel's Stan Lee and DC's editorial director Carmine Infantino that they should make a crossover movie starring Spider-Man and Superman. It obviously didn't happen, but then they decided to give us the next best thing, which is a supersized Spider-Man versus Superman comic book, which is the one we're reading today. 80 pages of it. They gave these kids a full-on book.
80 pages of fun.
Fun, great times. A lot of greats had their hands in this one. The writing was done by a guy named Jerry Conway. He did The Amazing Spider-Man from 72 to 75 and Wonder Woman from 77 to 86.
That's a long time.
Yeah. The penciling was done by Ross Andrew. He did Superman from 68 to 69 and Amazing Spider-Man from 73 to 78. I don't know if you know this guy, but I see his name everywhere. Artist John Romita Sr.
Yeah.
He literally only drew the faces on the characters here.
Huh. Just kind of a side note, his son is also,
He's also an artist.
and I do not like his faces. They're very square and ugly.
Yeah, his dad is a lot better at it.
Actually, his whole characters are very square. Very blocky.
Yeah, when I first read, because I knew that there was a senior and a junior, but I forgot. But when I first read this, I was like, I don't think that Romita's that old.
Yeah.
And I just keep forgetting that his dad is an artist too. But his dad does a good job on faces.
Yeah.
So yeah, he literally just drew the faces. Going back to, I don't know if we talked about it on pod or off, but this is not considered canon in either story, DC or Marvel.
Okay.
And for people that don't know, canon just means that this story has nothing to do with what happens in either one of their actual storylines going forward. But there is a panel in... there is this panel in Spider-Man, and I forgot what issue it is, but Superman is fighting in a What If comic of that year. I forgot what year it is. But Superman is fighting in one of those comics. A panel with Doc Ock and Lex Luthor is in an Avengers comic in 1999, referencing this one that we're reading today. And Spider-Man is punching Superman in a Mosaic comic in 2017. I remember on the internet they made a pretty big deal about that a couple years ago.
I kind of on the same topic of that. There was, I think, a DC run, probably within like the last couple of years. All I know is the ending where they're talking about just like some of the DC characters, like it's hinted at that they're fighting like the Hulk and Thor and
Oh yeah.
I forgot what it was though, but hopefully that comes about. That'd be pretty dope.
I really wish they would bring these back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so take that whole "this isn't canon" bit with a grain of salt because they kind of reference it later on. But that was the only little tidbit that I had for this going forward. All right, guys. So we're gonna jump into it. Throughout Volume 2 this year, we actually have, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 more crossover episodes. There's another one, part 2 of Spider-Man versus Superman, which should be interesting. I haven't read it at all, so we'll see how that goes. There's some Punisher stuff.
With Eminem?
No, thank God. I'm never reading that again. Don't.
Was there one where he met 50 Cent too?
I hope not. If there is, I'm not looking for it.
Eminem strikes me as an angry guy, but not angry enough to kill people.
No. And it was just bad. I hate the way it was drawn too. I'll post a picture for you guys so you can see how stupid that looks. I'm sorry, guys. Whoever drew that, I'm very sorry. It looks like Eminem, obviously, but it looks like one of those, you know how in those movies where it's animation and live action together.
Yeah,
that's what the drawing looks like. It looks like
because you have no real model for Frank Castle,
yeah, but you have a life size, a real life Eminem just staring at you, and you can actually draw that. That's what it looks like. I hate it.
It's like Looney Tunes back in action.
Yeah.
R-rated.
And it was it was a horrible story. I'd rather read the M&M story, like the actual M&M candies in the comics. That one was decent. But here we go. We're going to get right into it for 2022. We start with Superman flying through Metropolis, fighting a giant lead robot, tearing apart the city like always. I know, let me not get into my hate just yet. The robot makes its way to the Star Labs to steal one single computer, and he just leaves. But Superman isn't strong enough to stop it. So Superman thinks he's got it figured out when the head flies off of the robot towards space. So he chases that, assuming that that's where...
That he thinks that's where the person is. And
then the head explodes. But what Superman doesn't realize is that Lex Luthor just ejected himself out of the body of the head, or out of the body of the robot. Like he was like going down in the plane crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, all that for a computer.
For one single computer.
Like you have enough money and everything to build this giant machine.
It's not a small robot.
No, it's a skyscraper size robot.
And you built that just to take one little computer.
You could have built something that goes underground, or
I'm pretty sure whatever you needed that computer for, you could have just built.
Yeah, right.
Like if you had the money to build that big of a robot, and on top of that, for nobody to see you building that, you probably had the capability to just build whatever you stole.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. Or something better too. Like
it isn't like, but here we are trying to make sense of comic books. So now Superman's annoyed because he couldn't get Lex, and so he just goes back to the office, Clark Kent, to get bullied and berated by his coworkers and his boss.
Yeah, there's a scene. This is what I didn't understand. So he gets there, and the guy's trying to make him walk through the door, so a bucket of water falls on him.
Yeah,
but I'm like, this is work.
Yeah,
why you're gonna make this man walk into a meeting soaking wet for a joke?
So there's two things here. So one, though everybody else in the office was already in that room.
Yeah.
So that means he had to set up that bucket.
I thought of that too.
Everybody else got in there. And then made his way, unless everybody went into a different door, which is possible, right? But then, like, he doesn't go through the door, and then you force yourself to go through the door, and then it gets you, and now you're in trouble.
Yeah, your boss who is in the room already
Yeah.
just gets mad at you, not because you try to prank another coworker and get them soaking wet, but because you have a bucket on. Like he would have seen the bucket fall on his head.
Yeah, it's not. He's not mad because you're pranking people on company time. It's because you walked into the room with a bucket on your head. If this news channel isn't just ass backwards, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, and in this, Clark is not so he's still a reporter, but he's not like a newspaper reporter. He's working for a TV station. If I'm understanding, okay.
Yeah.
Because I read it, I was like, this isn't like his normal MO. And Lois works there too, so.
Yeah. So yeah, Clark's getting berated and treated like crap by his coworkers and his boss. Pissed off, he just leaves from the office and just goes back to being Superman. And he goes on the search for the robot again.
Clark's kind of a simp in this.
Yeah, he really is.
He just takes like people talking down to him. He's just like, okay.
Yeah, okay, boss. I'm sorry. I'll get right back out in the field. That's why this guy sucks. So yeah, he goes searching for the robot again, and he finds large footprints leading into the bay. Not our bay, but wherever bay he lives by.
Metropolis Bay.
Yeah. And he flies underwater to investigate, quickly finding a walking underwater lab. Whoever's in the lab is willingly inviting Superman into the lab. And then we see it's Lex Luthor again. He's hanging out. And not to spend this whole episode dragging Superman, because I know Marvel does this a lot too.
Yeah.
But he's now just standing face to face with a man who has no superpowers and still just wants to talk him down. Like, what? Like, you have the power here. He has this computer just behind him, and he's sitting in his chair smug.
He easily could have just picked up the walking lab and just took you out of the bay.
Doesn't he shoot lasers out of his eyes?
Yeah.
What? You can do that in a fraction of a second. But you want to talk to this guy? Shoot him do it in his knee. You don't even have to kill the guy.
Just the idea of Superman laser beaming somebody. Lex is just like doing his whole supervillain spiel, and Superman just one knee. Just, God damn it.
Laser shoot him in the knee. You're not going to go to jail. Even if you kill the guy, you're not going to go to jail. You're Superman.
Yeah, what jail they're going to put you in.
So, yeah, but like I said, Marvel does the same kind of stupid stuff too. So, we let it go. So, Lex says, the robot was a distraction I used to get you here so I can kill you. And Superman says, no, not today. And he just starts lightly jogging towards Lex like he doesn't have super speed. And now he's slowly dodging death lasers. Superman barely survives all this stuff before getting shot in the eyes with the laser, temporarily blinding him. But it doesn't stop him from punching Lex in the face. But it's like, why are you moving so slow, my guy? You don't have to live like this.
He doesn't technically even have to move. Like,
no one would see you do it. I know enough about Superman to know that you move fast enough for nobody to see you move. I've seen you race the Flash. So now we got Lex knowing that his time is limited at this point after taking a punch to the face. But he needs the computer that he stole. And it's not even really like a full-on computer, so don't get it confused with that. It's literally just like a chip.
Yeah, it's like the size of a phone.
Yeah. So he hides the chip in his socks, knowing that he's going to go to prison. But he's convinced that he's going to make it out of prison within 24 hours.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure what his whole plan was.
I don't know. He's got to have great lawyers. That's what I thought at the time.
Yeah. That's I was like, okay, he's has super amounts of money and he can just do whatever he wants. He gets out of jail, and so Superman captures him, takes him to jail.
Yeah, it takes him to jail, and then Clark just hops on a flight to New York after that.
Because they're going to the news convention or something.
Yeah, the World News Conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes Lex to jail and is like, all right, see you guys later. And then just goes to meet all of his coworkers at the airport so he could go to New York. And then we cut over to New York, and then we see the web slinger setting up his camera to get some pics of Spider-Man, busting some criminal ass. And then Doc Ock shows up, and he's fed up with Spider-Man, just always being in his shit.
Yeah. I felt like Spider-Man in this was he's very confident in himself.
Yeah.
In this issue, where he's like, yeah, I'm going to get these pictures, like these goons don't know what's going on. And then I know he already talks like jokes with like his villains while he's fighting them, but this one he's just like confident, like he's just going to whoop ass.
Like, I got this. Even when he I'll tell you guys, but he just keeps going and going with his confidence. And it's like, this must be an alternate universe Spider-Man.
Yeah. One of my favorite, we'll get to it, but my favorite scene is coming up when he gets to the Bugle.
Oh. Yes. So yeah, Doc Ock is fed up. He pulls out a machine called the Flying Octopus, and he just starts beating Spider-Man's ass enough to finally get away.
Yeah.
And then Peter Spider-Man finally gathers himself enough to make it back to the Daily Bugle and sell some photos to Triple J. But all the photos just end up being crap photos.
Yeah, he walks in there and he's just like, I got the best photos in the world. Jameson's like, oh man, let me lay down on my chair, lay down on my couch, relax. He's like, you're tired.
Trying to butter him up.
His arms are crossed behind his head. He's just
The most
so relaxed
you've ever seen Triple J ever.
And Jameson tells his lackeys or whatever, like, put this on the front page, like, get this out for the night edition. Like, this is gonna be like selling like hotcakes. And then they put the issue out, and it's just shadows.
Yeah.
Like, not even in focus. Like, you would think Peter, as a professional photographer, would make sure.
That's what you would think. And then, like, you would also think that the people in the newspaper are smart enough to say, oh, there's nothing here on this photo. And then maybe call their boss that hates everybody to say, hey, these photos are trash. But no, they just ran it. So after Jameson kicks Peter out of his office, Peter goes to meet up with MJ, and then they walk home, and then his Peter tingle starts to go crazy. And it's directing him towards a Goodyear blimp flying above them. And then when he jumps off the top of the Empire State Building to swing onto the blimp, he realizes that he's out of webbing. So he has all of this confidence throughout this whole thing, and he runs out of webbing.
No, yeah, because he ran out while he was fighting Doc Ock, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he for some reason just keeps forgetting to check his canisters.
So luckily he's able to glide to the blimp because he for some reason has like these squirrel.
Oh, his spider wings.
Yeah. Yeah. So he glides to the blimp, but he ends up crashing through it, and then guess who's inside? Doc Ock.
With his flying octopus ship.
Yeah. And then so the blimp crashes into the reservoir, and Peter pays Doc Ock back for that earlier ass whooping that he got, and then he just leaves him for the cops.
But we should also make note that Doc Ock was trying to escape the city so that he could, come up with more schemes. But he was trying to escape in his flying ship by covering it in another flying ship.
In the Goodyear blimp. That's like the slowest moving way to get out of the city.
And Peter just had his spider jingle just went off and said, "That's not a normal blimp."
I should probably check that out. I don't know what's going on with that.
And I feel like his spider sense shouldn't work like that.
No.
Like, Doc Ock wasn't trying to hurt anybody.
He wasn't even doing anything bad.
Yeah.
He was just in a blimp. Like, does your spider sense just go off when like bad people are around you? Because in New York City, that's probably happening a lot. Doc Ock was literally just in a blimp.
He just walks by Trump Tower and he's just, I can't take this.
Ah. He just like becomes incapacitated every time. He can't even walk the streets anymore. He has to wear like earplugs under the mask.
The doctors are like, Peter, you got too much stress, man. You gotta get out of the city.
You gotta. I can't. I got too much responsibilities here. I can't do it, Doc. I'm sorry. So yeah, he leaves them for the cops, and then the next morning he meets up with his coworkers and MJ to go to the World News Conference.
Hey, isn't another superhero also going to the World News Conference?
Yeah, Bruce Banner.
Whoa. He's totally involved with the news.
What's funny is I meant to say Bruce Wayne.
Either way.
Either one. They should not be there. So we cut to Doc Ock and Lex, both in federal prison at this point, at the Federal Maximum X Security Penitentiary #1.
Because they didn't want to build a second one and have to say all that.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be the most maximum security prison ever.
Yeah, when I read it, I didn't read that part. So when they showed Doc Ock just in his cell with his tentacles just like sitting there, I was like, they didn't try to put this man in anything other than bars.
This is supposed to be the most unescapable prison there is ever. And then Lex he tells Doc Ock, hey, if we ever get out of here, and let's switch enemies. And then Doc Ock gives him like the, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
And they talk to each other like they know each other, like
They
they've heard
talk to
each other.
like like their buildings are right next to each other, and they see each other every morning on the walk.
Oh, Dr. Octopus, I see.
Yeah. Oh,
Lex Luthor.
oh, they got you too, huh? Like, see you back at the office on Monday. Like, they both work in the same building and they see each other on the elevator up every morning. But so he was like, yeah, if we get out of here, sure, whatever you say. Like, yeah, I believe you. And but like Lex has like this weird smirk on his face, like.
Yeah, he tells the officer, he's like, I'll be out of here in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, yeah, sure.
And so nobody knows that Lex hid an escape kit under a fake layer of skin.
Yeah. I was trying to think about
So when did he have time to do this? Superman dropped him off to the cops. When did he have time to put like a layer of fake skin?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, that's why I'm wondering what his plan was. Because I'm like, okay, you steal the computer, then was he expecting Superman to find him under the bay?
I'm assuming he was planning on getting arrested too.
But couldn't you just get arrested before you got in the underwater?
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. He must have been clocking Superman for a while. Like, all right, I know he's got a news conference. He's gonna be out of town for a little bit. Maybe this is my chance. But then, yeah, we'll just keep going because it does.
Yeah, so it's literally like on his forearm, he pulls like the layer skin off, and then they're just like pieces of machinery, like on the layer of fake skin that he just like the officers didn't like pat him. Oh, he's like, got a weird rash.
Didn't pat him down at all. Like the 1/4-inch bump that's like on his arm. You didn't check that.
That looks like a metal circle and bolts and
he still has the computer on him too. So like, what is like for a maximum security prison? You guys didn't do very well on checking this guy.
I mean, obviously not. They just let Doc Ock have his arms still. So
yeah, just keep the tentacles on him. I don't.
Ew, gross. We don't want those.
I'm not touching the octopus. The hell? I work at SeaWorld. Get him in there. I'm not touching that.
And so Lex pulls out his Operation Breakout of Prison kit.
Yeah, and he has sonic rays on there.
Oh yeah.
So and those disable the guards. And then he uses a power cell to allow Otto Octavius to gain control of his tentacles again. So I think they took something out, probably a chip or something to make sure that he couldn't use his tentacles. But now he has power again, and then he's able to let both of them out of their jail cells.
Lex rides him out of prison like a
he
horse.
hops on. Yeah, Lex hops on Otto's back and rides out of the prison like a wild stallion. It is.
That's out of the 2 stories we read. That's one of my favorite panels. And then I can't wait to tell you what the other one is in the other story.
Man, it was so funny reading that. He just hopped on his back and they just rode out.
In the desert too, so it was like a wild stallion.
No. So it was nuts. So we cut to New York at the news conference, and conveniently Clark Kent and Peter Parker are showing up at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. Triple J is giving Peter a hard time, and Peter just says, "Hey, I quit. I don't care. Whatever."
You've been treating me like crap all day.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have given him crap photos.
Yeah, you shouldn't have given him photos of the darkness, buddy. Like,
he's in the right this time.
he's right to be upset with you. And Clark is busy getting passed up for a job that is probably going to Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, they mention him a lot.
Yeah. Like, I didn't just throw Walter Cronkite in there. Like, Clark Kent is actually getting passed up for a job by Walter Cronkite.
Yeah. Like, they're in love with this man in this comic.
Yeah. And Lois Lane thinks that Clark is being like a super, like excuse my language on here, but she thinks he's being like a super bitch about it. Like,
because they tell him, "Hey, I know you were gonna do this, but we're gonna get someone with like a bigger name, so you're out." And then he just like, "Okay,
I think I'm good for it, but if you think somebody's better, like,
I trust your opinion, boss."
yeah,
He's like Pete Davidson's character on SNL, the one that's just like, "Okay,
yeah, it's exactly what it is. This is Superman here is just Pete Davidson with muscle.
And Lois is just like, "You're not. Who are you? Like, you're just gonna let this man step all over you and
You're not
say
gonna fight
anything
for the job that you were supposed to have."
And he's just like, "No."
Whatever. It's no big deal. So Lois gets fed up. She goes poking around the conference and almost gets herself killed, being up somewhere where she shouldn't be. But then she ends up getting saved by Peter,
Who's also up there as well, isn't he?
It's also up there being sneaky.
They like climb on like it's like a ship or something, right? Or
Yeah, they climb. There's like I want to say rafters like around the ship,
Yeah.
and people shouldn't be up there.
Yeah, it's not an exhibit you can just climb on.
This isn't like, what do you think this is, the Academy of Arts or something or whatever? Like, you can't climb up here, guys. So she climbs up and almost falls and dies. So Peter saves her. And then as he ends up helping her down, and then MJ slowly becomes jealous after seeing this. And then out of nowhere, we see Superman flying around in the news conference.
Yeah.
Inside of the news conference.
And he zaps them away.
Yeah, he's flying around inside of the news conference building. And then he somehow zaps MJ and Lois, and they just disappear. So Peter's like, "Oh no, I gotta go change." And he's like, "I gotta go change in my Spidey suit." And then as he heads off, we see Clark Kent getting suited and booted, like he just saw some ghosts flying around. So Superman's flying around. Clark Kent is in his regular clothes.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is on his way to go get changed.
Yeah, I like when Spider-Man is going to change and he looks for a phone booth.
Yeah.
And there's no phone booth. And he's like, "Oh, I forgot that they took all those out of the city."
And you guys did that in the 70s? What did you do that for?
And I like it because it's kind of like almost like a joke towards Superman, because you know how Superman would go into a phone booth and change, and why would Peter go to a phone booth and change?
Yeah, everybody can still see you.
Yeah, normally he goes to like a closet or like in an alleyway or something.
To the roof.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, so he makes his way to the Spider-Man makes his way to the roof to change, and his Peter Tingle's starting to go nuts again. And then finally we see Spider-Man face to face with Superman for the first time ever. And Superman says, "Hey, Spider-Man, you better tell me what the hell's going on, or I'm just gonna beat your ass." So Superman thinks that Spider-Man has something to do with this.
I don't know how you.
I don't know why you would jump to that conclusion. But now,
Oh, but wasn't he? He was hearing that like Spider-Man was kind of like a bad guy from like the Bugle, I think.
yeah,
So he was like, okay, he has to have something to do with it.
yeah.
And then obviously Spider-Man thinks Superman has something to do with it because he saw Superman
You just
zap
saw
him.
him do it with his own 2 eyes. And I think spiders have more eyes than 2, so they should fix that.
You want to have a guy walk around with 8 eyes?
Yeah. Retcon this whole thing. Go back. Draw the 8 eyes.
Hey guys, remember those thousands of issues we wrote? Yeah, it's all
go back
trash
and
now.
Fix it.
8 eyes. 8 eyes now.
We heard on a podcast that he's supposed to have 8 eyes. Fix it.
Oh, yes. We will.
Oh, yeah, we'll get right on it. So, yeah, Spider-Man's super confused at this point. They both seem to understand that there's a phony Superman in this situation. But Doc Ock and Lex are hanging out in the wings of the building, just watching this whole thing go down. They're watching the confusion, and then they shoot Spider-Man with a solar ray to brainwash him, kind of.
Well, it wasn't like it's a red sun ray, so like
Yeah.
it imbues him with like the power of red sun, which is Superman's sort of like weakness, I
Yeah.
guess.
So he's not brainwashed, but he does think that Superman is the villain in here.
Yeah, and he's already angry from Triple J, and I think it amplifies his anger. So
Yeah. So he's really
he's going at it.
yeah. So Superman says, "Hey, I think I figured everything out. Like, I think I know what's going on." But before he can even finish his sentence, Spider-Man just clocks him.
Yeah.
And he, like, that punch takes him, like, flying. He clocks the crap out of him. So Superman's flying off from that punch. Spider-Man stays on top of him, and he's really giving him some work. There's a small break in the fight, and Superman says, "Hey, chill. Chill. Stop hitting me." He's like, "I've been trying to reach you about your car warranty." But he's like, "No, like," he's like, "You need to relax. I've been trying to talk to you about what's going on because I figured it out." And Spider-Man says, "Hey, just spit it out. Where's MJ? You need to tell me now." Superman isn't happy about how this is all going because he's just trying to get it out, but Spider-Man keeps punching him. So Superman, sick of all this crap, he ends up cocking back with a real punch that's gonna like hurt somebody, probably kill somebody. And then right before he connects with Spider-Man's head, he realizes that if he does connect with this punch, he's gonna kill him for real.
Yeah, the fact that he's fed up, like he literally fought Lex Luthor before and had no intention of wanting to kill him.
No.
But now this guy who's actually giving him a fight, he's like, I'm just gonna kill this guy.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it doesn't, just punch him. And you know that you have that kind of power. Why don't you use this ever? So right before he hits him, he kind of pulls back on the punch a little bit, but the punch still knocks Spider-Man like 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
So right when he makes his way back, right when Spider-Man makes his way back, Superman tries to calm him down again. But Spider-Man's he's going for the win. And for some reason he tries to drop kick him. But the red sun rays are starting to wear off. And with that drop kick, he just bounces off of Superman's chest. And he keeps trying. Eventually, he ends up breaking his hand trying to punch Superman.
I laughed so hard at that part. He's just like, bah, 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 bah. And then he turns around. He's like, I think I broke my hand.
Literally broke his hand. And then, so Superman's like, "Hey, can I explain to you what's going on now that you can't like beat me? And after some time, they both realize that they've been duped, and they decide, okay, we're probably better off teaming up here. And they quickly find, they go off, they quickly find the warehouse where the imposter Superman is located. And they go through every trick and trap in the book that I've ever seen before they finally get inside of the building.
Also, they found that warehouse because Superman uses X-ray vision to track the radiation from the imposter Superman.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know was a thing.
I didn't know either. I don't know how that comes up on X-ray vision. And why does radiation show up on X-ray?
Like, you have X-ray vision. You don't take in radiation.
No, those two things don't correlate. That doesn't make any sense. So they finally make it inside of the building, and we kind of figured this out already, but it was Doc Ock and Lex the whole time.
You don't say.
Yes, they were faking it the whole time.
Wow.
I'm still not sure how they had a fake Superman. But
that doesn't get brought up at all.
No,
ever again.
They don't ever mention that whatsoever. And then we figure out it was those two the whole time, but we realized that the Lex and Doc that are in the warehouse are a hologram.
You don't say.
Yeah, and they tell the two heroes that Lois and MJ are safe, but you need to find out where they're hiding. And then for some reason they tell them where they're supposed to be, and they go all the way to Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh yeah, they fly there, and it says in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I get Superman flying that fast, but Spider-Man doesn't have the capabilities to move that fast.
He doesn't.
And a man going that fast, who isn't built to go that fast.
I don't think it's safe for you to carry me that fast. Like, we're going from New York to Tanzania. That's like thousands of miles in a matter of minutes. I mean, I'm not doing the math in my head, but you're going at like almost the speed of light, I'm assuming. My Spider-Man body is not built for this.
And Spider-Man was being pulled like he was like on like he's water skiing.
Yeah.
He had like web skis and just a web attached to Superman.
For what? What are you skiing?
That wasn't going to do anything.
What, are you guys flying just slowly skimming over the water? Like, what the hell are you guys doing here?
And even if you were over the water, they're web skis. They're not. Your webs aren't like hard.
No. And then you still have to get to Tanzania. You got to fly over a lot of land to get there. I don't know, man. Spider-Man should have died doing that.
He should have.
That was supposed to be the end of Spider-Man right there. So I'm with the next part got kind of messy and a lot of random stupid stuff happened. So I'm just gonna fly through that piece of it. They get to Africa. They meet some very accommodating tribesmen. Then they beat up the tribesmen.
Well, because he was captured, right? The one that.
No, when they landed in Tanzania, they met the tribesmen, and then the tribesmen were seemingly going to help them, and then they ended up beating them up. And then they quickly find the secret headquarters for Lex Luthor.
But you didn't talk about the other tribesmen who Superman talked down to. It was like, I'm Superman.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Superman was acting like he's world known.
And he's like, I know who you are. I studied in London.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an accomplished scholar. I know who you are.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. Well, help us out.
So get to it, man. Tell me where I'm supposed to go. I don't know anything about this place. But yeah, they quickly find the secret headquarters of Lex.
Yeah.
And but they're too late once they get there, and they realize that they just missed the bad guys who left for space. So you guys found out that they were at Mount Kilimanjaro, made it there in minutes,
But took
and then
all day.
And you spent all day with the tribesmen fighting, like meeting them, fighting them, being okay with them again. You spent all day there. And then decided to go, oh yeah, our girlfriends are missing. And then, shit, now they're in space.
That you missed by mere minutes.
Yeah. And they left because you took too long. They sat there waiting for you. And then, you know what? Lex was probably in there like I know your boyfriend's here. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not coming to save you.
All right, ladies. We'll give him another 10 minutes, and then we'll head off to space.
Guys, we gotta go. Traffic's gonna be bad.
I feel like Spider-Man and Superman got there, and the guy was like, yeah, we know where they are, but, like, do you want to hang out with us for a little bit? And they're like, never been to Tanzania before.
I mean, what do you guys got out here?
Just took one a night on the town.
Yeah.
Went to a couple of bars.
That's pretty much what it felt like.
And then they were just like, oh, dang, we're actually here for work.
Yeah. So the bad guys are on their way to space, and then we quickly teleport ourselves to space, and we see that Lex and Doc Ock are on Lex's satellite base, and even at this point, Doc Ock is asking, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I've just kind of been following you around.
Lex,
all
I'm
day,
bored. What are we doing?
Like, you haven't told me what we're doing today. Like, what's the point of all this? So, Lex says the programming key that he stole with the robot in the very beginning of the story is what's going to help them destroy their enemies. And a quick side note, he's been in possession of this programming key since before Superman got him arrested, right? He went to Supermax prison for villains, still had it, and for some reason, him being in space is the only place that he could have used it. He's had it in his sock for this whole time. He pulls it out of his sock in space. I still don't. This story could have ended in the beginning. A long time ago. He could have just handled all of this.
I liked that Doc Ock is just not, and he's there, but he's not there. Like, he's just not in the plan whatsoever. Lex easily could have did this without him at all.
Mm-hmm. And so, and I say he had it in his sock this whole time. They don't ever say that he had it in his sock.
Yeah.
But if he didn't have it in his sock, there's only one place he could have had it.
And if you've been to prison, you know where.
And if you talk to Prison Mike, he'll tell you where he had
it. Doc Ock had pockets the whole time.
He had a full-on jumpsuit with like 5 pockets down his legs. You could have put it anywhere. And
Lex, I had so many pockets.
Lex was like, nope, it's secure, buddy.
I've been in prison too many times to do it any other way.
Doc Ock was like, you want to grab something to eat first? He's like, nope, can't do that. Can't risk my stomach getting upset right now.
Don't make me walk at any speed other than 1 mile per day.
Matter of fact, can you grab me a wheelchair? Because I'm starting to feel pretty bad right now. But yeah, anyways, Lex uses a key to take over a satellite that was just launched and sends a laser shot from the satellite towards Earth, and it's causing mass destruction all around the Midwest. And Superman is going in for the save. Superman and Spider-Man both attempt to stop the laser, but it takes both of them out pretty quickly. And in a quick turnaround, they wake up from unconsciousness, and they're on Lex's ship.
Spider-Man flew a spaceship.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He took a spaceship from Lex's Mount Kilimanjaro lab and
just flew up to space.
Why does Lex have like multiple ships? Does he? It's like a Jerry Seinfeld thing where he just goes into his garage and he's like, I think I'm gonna take this one today. There's like 50 of them in there. What the hell's the point? So yeah, they wake up in Lex's ship. Superman wakes up and says to Lex, like, "What the hell is all this about?" And then we finally find out that this is all just blackmail. Most of the Midwest is under a massive hurricane at this point, spanning from Chicago down to New Orleans. Lex says he Lex says, "I want $10 billion from the U.S. government, or I'm going to allow this hurricane to spread across the whole world." $10 billion. So both heroes jump into action, or sorry, both villains thoroughly surprised that they're able to fight, that the heroes are able to fight, but they aren't fighting very well. Spider-Man is kind of lost in this whole situation because of the no gravity issue.
Yeah.
He didn't prepare for that. And Superman's still groggy from getting blasted by the laser. The upper hand swings back and forth between villain and hero, while Superman sees the tsunami heading towards the East Coast from all the way in space. And he says, "Hey, Spider-Man, can you hold down the fort up here while I head back to Earth?" Spider-Man can't win this alone, so while Lex is bragging about his conquests, Spider-Man shows Doc Ock that if Lex wrecks the Earth, then they're not going to have anywhere to go back to. And Doc Ock all of a sudden has a change of heart here. And he wrecks Lex Luthor's machine. Superman makes it back to Earth, and the tsunami that is a mile high and 200 miles long is racing towards the East Coast right now. 200 miles long.
I can't even imagine 200 miles.
That's from where we live to Disneyland is like 340 miles.
And it was a mile high.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, Superman or not, like...
We're gone. Everybody on the East Coast is gone, buddy.
I mean, he did fly to Tanzania in minutes, so...
True.
200 miles is, like, nothing to him.
True. But, so he gets down there, he barely inches out the save. He stops the tsunami from hitting the East Coast. And while Spidey is up in space, just beating the crap out of Lex Luthor. Later on, we see that Doc Ock and Lex Luthor are both arrested again. Hopefully they don't make it out. Lois and MJ are now safe. They all shake hands. They say their goodbyes. And the two biggest superheroes of their time had their separate ways.
Yeah, when they shake hands, they do like that meme, the Arnold Schwarzenegger meme, where they're like, it's not like an actual handshake, it's like the bro shake.
Get in here, man.
But overall, I don't know if this is on the pod or not, but I did enjoy this because it was so cartoony.
Yeah.
I think especially some of the art, like when JJ was like super angry at Peter and was yelling at him, it looked super cartoony, and just how silly Peter was with his pictures that he took and he thought he did it, or when he was punching Superman and he broke his hands.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought it was super silly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I enjoyed it more, just because I knew they weren't really trying to do like a full on like take this seriously. It's like they're just like, here's two superheroes who you would never see together.
Yeah.
And watch them, fight their greatest villains together.
Yeah. For that being the first actual crossover, or the first with the separate characters, like, I thought it was great. It didn't. Yeah, they had to kind of superpower up Spider-Man, so he wasn't just getting tossed around. But I don't care, even doing that, just so like I see Superman actually like taking some damage here and like getting beat for a bit by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I thought it was great. Yeah, I loved it.
It was weird because I felt like Peter and Spider-Man were kind of annoying. Like, they were just so confident it was annoying.
Yeah.
And Superman wasn't actually that bad in this, which is weird for me to say. It was kind of like, I enjoyed more of the Superman part of it than I did more of the Spider-Man part of it for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked all of it a lot collectively, just all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like if Superman was like this most of the time, I could see being okay reading it.
We wouldn't know because we won't even go near Superman comic.
I won't touch it. But I mean, it makes me at least like I know the writer did that. Was it like 8 years of a run with Superman? So it's like I would at least want to check out some of his other stuff. I'm not gonna read the whole run, but no, actually, he didn't do Superman.
Oh, the Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might check that out one day. I might. Not making promises, but I might. But so this volume 2, we're gonna change things a little differently. We're not gonna do a 1 to 5 like we were doing before. We're gonna change it up and do the Webhead stamp of approval.
Brand. We're gonna brand it.
Webheads. Send them out. Bring in the next one. So what does DeMarco give this? Does DeMarco give this the Webhead stamp of approval?
I give it the Webhead stamp of approval. Just because it's silly, doesn't take itself too seriously. Two iconic characters meeting, doing exactly what they do in the books, and it's iconic. Like the first sort of crossover like this for these two characters, or just for the comic industry of that scale, you know. I say it's a good read. You know, pick it up or find it online
if you can find it somewhere. For legal purposes, I can't say where I found it online, but it's out there.
Yeah, if you can find it, give it a read.
This is not on Marvel Unlimited.
And then, I think you guys would enjoy it. And it is 80 pages.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely split it into 2 if possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and read it.
I'm giving it for sure the Webhead stamp of approval this week. The only thing that I don't like about it is I feel like they should have just made it canon. Like I understand why they're not, because they probably look at each other as competition, but like their relationship at this time was good.
Yeah, but I guess it kind of just falls into like, maybe they weren't thinking of it at the time, but like now that you have Superman and Spider-Man in the same universe, why don't you call on Superman to help out with Avengers issues? Or why didn't Spider-Man show up with like the Teen Titans or something? Like,
why doesn't Batman finally get his ass beat?
Yeah, that.
Yeah. I'm hoping I don't remember what all the crossovers are that we have this year, but I'm hoping that in one of them Batman gets beat pretty bad.
From what I remember correctly, the big one, the Justice League versus Avengers, I feel like somebody paid Marvel to take a seat and just, hey, let your characters get beat a little bit.
Hey, just lay him down a little bit. We'll be all right.
Take the fall for this one. You owe us a lot of debt.
But that was. So we're both giving it the stamp of approval this week.
Yeah. Oh, something else that happened in the book. So every few pages or so, or I think after what they would call chapters, they would kind of do like just a 1-page description of the character. So whether it's Superman, Spider-Man, they did one for Lex, and on his, it said that from what I remember, Superman and Lex used to be friends, and then Superman, something happened where Lex, his experiment exploded, caused him to go mad and lose his hair, and now he just wants revenge. That's his whole backstory. That's no reason to be as evil, and
you're a supervillain because you lost your hair. That could have been hereditary, boy.
It's gonna happen eventually.
You're building like 40 story robots to steal tiny little computers because you lost your hair. You're willing to. He was willing to tear apart the whole world with a hurricane
because he lost his
he
hair.
lost his hair in his own freak accident. Superman didn't steal your hair from you.
I just thought the comparison between him and Doc Ock was like not there. Like,
No.
you had an experiment that went wrong. You still look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it kind of drove you insane because you can't do your experiment.
But the only bald one in my family.
But you just lost your hair. Doc Ock literally has metal tentacles fused to his body that he cannot remove.
He has to live his life like that now.
And you don't see him trying to destroy the world.
No, he's mad at Superman because Superman has a decent head of hair. That's the only reason he hates him. I hate Clark. Stupid son of a bitch. I think it was a really good story to come back with.
I think so. Good. It was a good intro to 2022.
Yeah.
And what else we got coming?
What else we got coming this year? We got, like I said, we got more crossovers.
We're gonna cross over into the 80s this year, right?
Yeah, probably sometime in February. So that means we're gonna hit the Dark Phoenix saga. We're gonna hit Secret Wars.
Ooh.
Probably Secret Wars 2 also. We're doing
iconic stories.
Very iconic stories. We got what else do we have? We got a lot of stuff coming up this year. A lot. And I don't know. It's gonna be a good year for comics for us.
We got a lot in store for you guys.
Yeah. We might have some more movie specials.
Nice.
We'll definitely have some TV specials for
all the shows.
The shows that are coming. And yeah, it's flying by the seat of our pants this year. Oh, thank you to everybody that listened over our little break. We had a crazy peak in there. So yeah, thank you to everybody that did that.
Much appreciated.
I saw those. Hey, I'm not playing around. I saw those numbers jump in Germany. I don't know who it is. I don't know who's passing that to their friends in Germany. But I saw you guys do it. I saw it happen. But yeah, we're this year is gonna be fun. I don't know what else to say. I'm having a good time.
I'm gonna say subscribe, tell your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Go out and read some comics. Take
Have
what
some fun with it.
Take what we're talking about. Go read what we're reading. See if you like it as much as we did, or if you didn't. Let us know. Let us know what you thought about what we read.
This webhead stamp of approval doesn't need to. I know it doesn't mean that everybody's gonna like it.
Yeah.
It just means that we do.
Yeah. So
we're gonna hate some stories that everybody else might love, which is what happened in a lot of the first season.
Which could be our fault. We do.
Yeah.
We're sometimes we're reading stories that took years to finish.
Well, yeah, that's the thing I was thinking about on the way over here today, too. Is like I was listening to some CDs that came out in 2006 that everybody that listened to them then still loves now.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to them when they came out. I'm listening to them for the first time now.
Yeah.
And I don't like them. It sounds like the one I was listening to on the way here was the game. I was listening to his first album, the documentary. It sounds like a very 2005 album, and I didn't listen to it in 2005.
Yeah, you kind of missed the train. Like
I'm listening to it 17 years later for the first time, and say whatever you want. I don't care. Kiss my ass. But it's just not good. Like reading these comics for what was it? We started in 39. 80 years later we're reading these. And some of them were good.
Yeah.
But some of them just didn't age well.
Yeah.
They're very 1947 comics.
Yeah.
That don't. Some of them have racist tones to them, just bad writing, stupid writing. And we're reading them 80 years later, so they don't have to be great. for us in
Agreed.
2021. But this show will be great forever. I don't care when you listen to it.
Forever young. I wanna be.
Okay, guys. So
forever young.
it's
Do you really wanna live forever?
forever? We're gonna get copyright issues here. It'll fly on Spotify, but not on YouTube. But yeah, thank you guys again for all the listens. Thanks for coming back every week. Thanks for coming back after this 2-week break, 3-week break,
Yeah.
however long it was. We will be back next week with the Private War of Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Peace out.
Bye.